Hello, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. And yes, we've got a review of this kit that just about every man and his dog on YouTube has reviewed already. I've seen Spencer Pollard's review. I did have a look because it was a very quick one. And I very much like listening to Spencer Pollard. He's a great guy. I haven't watched any of the other reviews. I saw James has done one. I've seen somebody's put one up today and across the top it says disappointing with a question mark. So I purposely haven't looked because I don't want to be sort of steered down any road, if you like. So I thought I'd give you my quick take on it. It won't be like a really massive hour-long review like I normally do, but it'll be a review. You'll see everything. It won't just be one of these, 10-minute jobs. So basically, Airfix's 1/72nd scale consolidated B-24H Liberator. As far as I know, this is the only B-24H in a kit form. Not exactly sure what the differences are. I think there's a different nose turret. But basically, this is what it is. It's a 1/72nd scale kit, so it's going to be a nice sort of size. It's going to be probably typical Airfix, engraved detail, nice riveting and everything. It's licensed from Lockheed Martin. It's got cartograph decals, which is good. It's made in India. Yes, it's made in India. And it's for 8+. And then going over the box here, you can see we've got two different versions available. We've got the one on the front, which is Corky Burgundy Bombers. And then down below there, we've got Valiant Lady, which has some nice yellow flashes and stuff on the tail. So choice is yours. Having watched Spencer's video, it's quite obvious there are going to be other ones coming along because there are parts in here that we're not using. So we have here one bag of 2 sprues. We have another bag of 2 sprues and some clear sprues which are separately bagged. We have another bag here which is the 2 sprues, and then down in here we've got our instructions and probably our decals as well. So while we're looking at this, we're going to be looking for the usual sort of short shots and stuff which Airfix are renowned for, but hopefully we won't have any, because it's not, when you see a problem with Airfix kit, generally it's not all of them, it's generally just 1 or 2. So so there we go. Right, so we've got an instruction manual on the bench. We'll keep the light off because it's easier for you to see. Telling you down here, basically, remember, that you should be cleaning your parts and washing them in water. Due to the size and weight of the rear fuselage and tail surface of this model, it requires a larger amount of weight to be added to the forward fuselage to enable the model to rest on its nose wheel. There are 2 places where we recommend this is added, and the weight suggested should be regarded as the minimum that needs to be added to avoid a tail scissor. Alternatively, if the crew entry door under the rear fuselage is fixed in the O position, then the entry ladder can be fixed to support the tail of the model and keep it resting on its nose wheel. So, one of the issues here, if you are putting a lot of nose weight in a model, remember, I've said this before and I was wrongly corrected on it. Basically, if you've got the, if this is your model here and your undercarriage is there, okay, and it's 1/3 of the way along, then, it's obvious you're going to need some nose weight to balance out the tail. And people always think, oh, I've got to put 50 grams in the nose. Can the nose actually take it? Well, if you have to put 50 grams here to balance out 50 grams here, okay, then the nose wheel is feeling practically no weight whatsoever, because if you touch the tail it would probably sit on its tail. The bit that feels the weight is the main undercarriage. So if you've got weak main undercarriage and you need a lot of nose weight, then you're going to get into problems. It's not the nose wheel that's the problem, it's the main undercarriage is the problem, because they're taking all the weight. Basically, the main undercarriage has got the weight of the model. Say the weight of the model is 100 grams and you put 50 grams in the nose, that undercarriage has now got to take 150 grams. Okay, so it's the total weight of the model sitting down. Yes, it's going to be probably 148 grams because you've got a couple of grams sitting on the nose. But if you put too much nose weight in, of course you are putting stress on your nose wheel. But one of the biggest, funny enough, it's the 1/32nd scale Liberator, one of the biggest issues with that, because it has very weak plastic undercarriage and it needs a lot of nose weight, a hell of a lot. It's 130 odd grams, I think, of nose weight in that model, the Hobby Boss one. So you definitely need metal undercarriage for that model. So there we go. Anyway, lecture over. Right, so we have here our decals, we have our colour callouts. So all very nicely done in colour, as per usual with Airfix. So we'll have a look at those first. So we have we have here version B. This is version A. So this is the one off the box front. We've got corky burgundy bombers. So very nice indeed. Olive drab over the neutral grey. Remember, if your undercarriage is down, likelihood, unless it's being worked on, the bolt art will be up inside. There's the detail on the inside of the fins. So yeah, very nice. Yellow stripes on the bottom. Lovely. Looking very nice. And it looks like we've got decals for the bombs as well, which is a nice touch. Not sure how many bombs we're going to get in here. We'll soon see. Colour call-outs are obviously all in Humbrol. You will choose your own colour paints. And then here we've got the Valiant Lady, which is very pretty looking. It's got a yellow tail, a yellow flash on the fin. Got the great big red mark on the front there. Is that Statue of Liberty there? Looks very nice indeed. Jess is behind me playing with the box, as you can hear. So yeah, nice colour schemes. I'm hoping they're going to bring out a Coastal Command RAF aircraft, because that would be a nice addition. And then here we've got the decals, and they look very, very nice, perfectly at register, nice and thin. That is the Statue of Liberty, and you can see there, beautifully done. Of course, they're cartographed. They're going to go down lovely. Lots of stencil detail. We've got the bomb details, bomb decals there. And we've got some decals there, we've got propeller stuff. Very nice indeed. And those yellow fin flashes are obviously, they're in decals as well. You may wish to paint those instead, but whatever. So very nice. Of course, it's 72nd scale. It's an easily displayable size, unlike my usual 32nd scale stuff. So, right, we'll put that over there. Right then, let's have a look at the instructions. So, as usual, we've got English, French and German on here. We've got the specifications of the aircraft in all the languages as well, which is very nice. So we have a 465mm wingspan, a fuselage length of 298mm. So it's about a foot long and it's about a foot and a half wide. So there you go. Right. So straight into the build. We're onto the cockpit. We've got a decal for the instrument panel. Got control wheels going on there. Building up the seats. Going to make 2 of those. We're adding the console to the floor. And then we're adding the seats, and then we're adding a bulkhead. Wonder if all this is correct, because a lot of manufacturers get this wrong, apparently. And we've got some detail going in the nose there. We've got some bomb aiming equipment by the look of it going in there. We've got other stuff going in here, ammo belts for the nose guns. And then we've got more controls, more bits and pieces. 25 grams of weight going in there, so that's between those 2 bulkheads. And then we've got some radio equipment or whatever it is going on there. And then we've got another little compartment here, which is going to be underslung. And they're telling you to put 30 grams in there. So they're recommending 55 grams already. Probably go for 70, just to be sure. So as I say, a lot of weight required, because there's such a long tail on these. And you've got the great big tailplane and the double fins and everything. It's lots and lots of stuff going on. So we're going to add that floor section there. And then coming over the page, we're adding more detail in there. We've got lots of interior detail in here. And then we've got some oxygen tanks going in, and then file the tab off when fixing the door in the open position. So that's the crew entry door in the back. That's where you're going to fit it, and then you can put a ladder down to support the tail, as they were saying earlier. And then we're fitting that nose piece going in there. So that's the area behind the pilots. And then we've got our main spars, typical Airfix, great big nose spars to fit the air wings to, which is good. And then we've got another spar going in the centre there, into the centre of the bomb bay. We've got this area here. I'm assuming that's the bomb aimers area, or is that in the tail? Nope, that's neither. It's the mid gunner's position. So we've got another bulkhead going in there, a former, should I say? We've got that mid waist gunner floor going in there. Doors open or closed for the mid gunners. Have them open. You'll see all that lovely detail inside. And then we've got the ammo boxes we've got ammo belts as well, which is a really nice touch in 1/72 scale. Thank you, Airfix, for that. So very nice. We've got the toilet there by the look of it. And then we have some detail going up in the roof. We have a lot of detail in this kit, especially considering it's 1/72. Let's just hope they scale it up to 48, because apparently the Hobby Boss one, which I have on pre-order, apparently it's not very good. Which is very surprising from Hobby Boss, isn't it? When was the last time you heard of a Hobby Boss kit that was inaccurate? Yeah, yesterday. So there we go. There's those doors going in the other side, open or closed. And then we've got these gunner positions going in, ammo boxes, we'll do all the same again. Bringing the fuselage halves together and adding the nose. Something seriously worth looking at with any kit like this, where you have a separate nose, is look at possibly adding the nose to the rear fuselage, the nose halves, so you've got two long fuselage halves to come together, because if you do have an issue with this seam here, it's going to be very difficult to deal with. It's much easier to get a really nice seam there and then have to deal with the center seam if there's an issue size-wise. But this is a very new kit. It should be okay, but something definitely worth looking into. Then we've got the fairings going in for the waist gunner, so they're going to be back if the doors are closed, out if the doors are open. Got some bombs going together. We've got 8 bombs, which is nice. We'll put on all the bomb racks, fitting all the bomb racks in there, and then fitting your bomb bay doors. Remember, the bomb bay doors on a B-24 come up. They don't open like that. They sort of come up, which is nice. And then we're going to build up the tailplane, fins and rudders. We've got some interior detail there for the main landing gear. And then we're going to bring our wings together. And it's talking here about keeping the wings straight. So when assembling D15 and E16, make sure the wings are straight. D15 and E16, D15, E16. Okay, that's a good tip, good thing to look out for. So, adding the bottom of the engine cells and the turbo superchargers, they're going in there, and then we've got we can have flaps open or closed. So they're calling them gills here. So that's a nice touch, a very nice touch. And then we've got all that, all those parts going in for the spinners and everything. We've got ailerons building up here. And then coming over the page, we've got the ailerons being fitted to the wings, flaps going up or down, wings going onto the fuselage, undercarriage being built up either in the folded up position or in the down position. If you've got them folded up, you're going to have to get some pilots because there's none included in the kit. And then we've got wheel halves going together. And then we've got the nose wheel going together there. Nose leg looks fairly strong actually. Looks good. And then we have our turrets going together. So we've got the top turret here. We've got the rear turret. Something I noticed from Spencer's review, the actual guns are moulded into the clear parts, which is interesting. So we've got the rear turret going together there, and then we've got the nose turret going together. Nose turret has the guns separate. I know why they've done this, and it's bloody brilliant. And then we've got the ball turret going in. We've got separate guns to go in there. And remember, if your wheels are down, you should have the ball turret up like that. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, that's a shame. You don't have the option to have it either, movable or anything. It's either up on that one or it's up on that one. So you could actually make something up there with a piece of tube and have a bit of a friction fit, so you can just push it up or pull it out should you want to. And then fitting the ball turret, fitting the tail turret, adding the glazing to the nose there for the bomb aimer, fitting the nose turret, fitting the mid-upper turret, adding the clear parts. We've got X1 and Z5, A and B. Can't see the differences in the side glazing there. And then we've got glazing going in here in the rear sides of the fuselage, adding up propellers. Got pitot tubes going on here as well. There they are. We've got a DF aerial, got some other antennas, adding the guns in the side. You see, this is where Airfix are coming on strong. Sensible assembly, adding guns now rather than at the beginning, like in some other kits I'm building at the moment. So yeah, that's really sensible. And then we've got the ladder going in there that'll support the tail should you not want to add all that nose weight. And that's it. This page is left intentionally blank. That's what it normally says, isn't it? So let's have a look at the model itself. We'll just grab the bags as they come out. We'll put the light on now for some plastic. So great big bags, which is always good. So we can open that one up, we get these sprues out. As I say, they're probably going to be oily because they always recommend to wash them. Put the bag down over there. Right, let's have a look at this one. So basically we have here our port wing, and we have some lovely recessed panel lines and recessed rivet detail there. We have some nice engine detail. Again, I remember as Spencer pointed out, the rear cylinders have no detail, the forward cylinders do. So there we go. You can add some wires or whatever, but you can't really see a lot through the little carolines anyway. We've got the nose detail there with the ignition rings and everything on. You can see them there. And then we have here flaps closed, flaps open. You can see the two options there. Little stumpy propellers. They look a little bit too short, those blades. I'm not sure. I'll have to measure them up. I know Hobby Boss got it wrong, so if Airfix have copied Hobby Boss, then they've got it wrong as well. So they do look very stumpy. But B-24 propellers do look stumpy. So there we go. We got our is that our turbo superchargers there? I think it is. That one there's got some damage on it by the look of it. And we've got our lower cowlings there, and you can see again on there we've got all the lovely rivet detail and panel line detail. We've got raised lines and recessed lines on here, which is going to be very interesting with that olive drab on there with a wash and a dry brush and some oils, and that's going to be very nice. Very nice detail on that wing indeed. Very, very nice. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Really good. And then on this one, again, we have the wings. Same thing again, you can see on there, you can see those raised panels in the undersurface of the wing. We have our wheels. So we have weight on wheels and non-weight on wheels. Oh, okay, so when you have the wheels up, you don't put two halves together, you just have the one side is hollow. So you got wheels up, you got non-weight on wheels, wheels down, weight on wheels. Main wheels there, which are very nice, much nicer than the Walrus. Remember the Walrus I reviewed last week? It's got, you haven't seen it, have you? It's got the it's got great big sink marks in the wheels, and they also look. Oh dear, what have they done there? Those wheels are off centre. Look at those there; they are off centre. That's like the P47 from Miniart. That's got the same problem. These are okay. It's obviously an error in the tool making. That's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. For a 2024 kit, that is very poor quality. Got the nose wheel there. Again, that's off centre. You can see it's sort of heading up towards 1 o'clock. There you go. So aftermarket wheels are going to be a must for this. We've got, I'm not sure if that's a short shot there. No, it's keyed. Okay, there's a little lump on there, which is going to go into that little recess in the tyre. I thought that was a short shot. There's our exhaust turbo superchargers. We got our Bombay doors there with some lovely riveting in them. Very nice indeed. I'm guessing this is the backs of the wheels, and then we've got our fronts here. So you've got the two options. You've got the covered over, and you've got the exposed. So with that being the backs of the wheels, I guess that might not be such an issue. Of course, that it's not flash. It definitely isn't flash, but you can see definitely how those wheels are off centre. They're sort of, as you're looking at now, they're sort of, the centres are up towards 1 o'clock. So, in fact, let's just have a look just to confirm this. If I take a measurement there, that is 4.08, and if I take a measurement there, it's 4.35. So it's about 0.3 of a millimetre, and it's plenty. It's enough to see. You can see that they're off. So that's crap. Right. And as you know, guys, I would speak as I find. Unlike Spencer Pollard, I bought this one. Spencer at the end of his video said, thank you to Airfix for sending in the kits. I wasn't aware Airfix actually sent out kits, but clearly they do to their favourite people. So here's the fuselage sides. Very nice indeed. Very nice, crisp, clean, very, very sharp moulding. Again, it's nice to see this grey plastic instead of that horrible blue tack stuff we used to get. And then we've got the fins here. Got some sink marks in there, but that's absolutely fine on this sort of thing. The fabric on the rudders is beautiful. Really nicely done. You can see that not only have they got the actual fabric detail there, but they've got the fabric detail, the finer detail in towards the pivot area. And you also see we've got two separate types of fins. We've got here with trim tabs, and here with different trim tabs. So yeah, you can see what they've done. They've moulded the trim tab on one half, and then you've got it cut out on the other. So on the inside you get the join, on the outside you have the moulded part. But yeah, very nice. So we've obviously got other options coming along, and they're going to the trouble of making, you know, just for the sake of a trim tab, they're going to the trouble of making different fins, which is a nice touch. And you can see again the ribbing on there, the detail is just sublime. It's beautiful. It really is gorgeous, and the rivet detail as well is lovely. This will look absolutely fantastic built up, I can assure you, as long as you get some resin wheels for it. So here we have some detail. We have ailerons, we have flaps. So flaps up, flaps down. Very nice indeed. They really are lovely. Look at the actuator detail on them. This has to be built flaps down, doesn't it? Even if it's not correct. And they didn't have their flaps down most of the time. Beautiful detail here on the bulkheads. Really, really nice. You know, yeah, it's all moulded on and everything, and it's you know, it's going to be sort of two-dimensional if you like. But when it's painted and dry brushed, when you're looking inside this fuselage, it's going to look absolutely perfect. Lovely floor detail there in the cockpit. Rudder pedals moulded integrally. There's that bin to put your weight in. There's the rear area to step into for the rear turret. We've got a wing spar there. We've got another spar here with the Bombay roof. And that's got raised rivet detail on it, which is going to dry brush beautifully. That's recessed rivet detail in there. It's all very, very nice. We've got this ribbing here for the wheelbase, which is all nicely done. It does feel quite greasy, guys, so you will want to get a bit of wash. I always say that, don't I? You can hear it. And then we've got the instrument panel there with the console in the centre. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. And then finally is the third bag of bits. Let's have a look at this, see what the clear parts are like. Get my knife out from underneath all these parts over here. So, two clear sprues. So we've got this sprue here, which is the F sprue. So this is obviously going to be the one that's going to be different for when they bring out a J. They're clearly going to bring out a J, otherwise they wouldn't bother with a separate nose. This is what Hasegawa did, didn't it? So we have all the nose turret parts. There's the ammo belts for the nose. It's lovely they've got ammo belts in a 72nd scale kit. It's great. It's absolutely brilliant. There's your supports there for your ball turret. But got some lovely internal detail as well. Just a thought, I didn't look at the internal detail on the fuselage. Oh yes. Oh yes. Very, very nice. That is beautiful. And the ejector pin marks, they've got two there, one there, one there. So the ejector pin marks are all going to be hidden. There's no ejector pin marks here. That is fantastic. That is brilliant. Thank you for that, Airfix. We got all the Bombay detail in there. Again, no ejector pin marks. And all that detail there from behind. Oh, yes. Well done. Well done, very much so. So, we've got all this detail for the nose here, as I said earlier. We've got guns there for one of the turrets. Very fine barrels that are going to be easily broken off, but you can add some aftermarket should you want to. There's the guns for the belly turret. This is lovely. It's more accurate for sure, without a doubt. It's more accurate than the 1/32 scale. But all the detail and everything, it's actually probably nicer than the 1/32 scale. I mean, on that kit, it's the wings are wrong, the engines are horrible, the turrets are horrible. This is all very nice. So here we've got the our last sprue. This is sprue B. I like the way they've done this, so it's obvious what it is. You've got some more machine guns there. These are the side machine guns. There's that framework that's going to go in the Bombay. We've got some radio gear there. Our little control wheels there for the cockpit. Access ladder. Bomb aiming equipment. Some side panels there for the rear gunner. There's the rear access door. Some more internal stuff. We've got guns there for the nose turret. Pitot tubes sticking up out of the nose, very prominent. And some more turret detail there. And then all our bombs. And we've got the bomb tails which are, interestingly, that's crazy. Look at the size of the sprue gates on those bobtails. They're like full length and huge. They're like over 1 millimetre wide. What on earth is going on there? That is a hell of a lot of cleanup you're going to have to do on there. Nice to see on the bombs we've got the little propellers on the front to arm them. Yeah, all very nice indeed. Bomb racks here. There's our side doors for the side gunners. Again, we've got lovely rivet detail on them. That's the mounts for the side guns. Oxygen bottles, which are sensibly moulded hollowed out, so they don't have the sinks, big sinks in them. I think this is the first Airfix kit I've ever seen with no sink marks in it. Or maybe the Walrus was. But, it is very, very nice. Very nice indeed. But a couple of downsides, we'll cover those in a minute. So here we have a clear sprue. This is sprue X. And yes, they are very nice indeed. You can see on there just how clear that is, and there's no distortion. So yeah, Airfix have really come on in leaps and bounds with their clear parts. I mean, look at that turret top there. That's like Hong Kong models quality, that is. I think Hong Kong models have the nicest clear parts there are. I mean, yeah, it's got a bit of distortion on it, but hey, come on, look at it. It's bloody beautiful. It does have a bit of distortion there in the side. But, you know, hey. Not going to worry about that on such a beautifully moulded part. Put that away, we'll take that up in a minute so they don't come out and get scratched. And then this one here, have a look at this one. So yeah, very nice indeed. Again, we've got another set of cockpit glazing. Got some more turret detail there. We've got another upper turret there. That one looks a lot better than the other one actually. So hopefully this is the one we're going to use. That's the nose turret, or is it the tail turret? I can't remember. It's one or the other. There's your belly turret. There's some glazing there. There's your ball turret. There's another part of the ball turret. Now this here, this is very interesting. They've moulded these guns integrally with this glazing on the sides of the turret. And I know exactly why they've done that. If you remember when the Hobby Boss 32nd scale kit came out, they got absolutely slaughtered for having those awful turrets. They had the parts of the turret that were painted moulded clear, and they had the parts that should have been clear were moulded frosted. So that was an absolute total and utter cock-up. But also, because of the tolerances, because of the thickness of the plastic and everything, they ended up with the guns being way too close together, because if the guns were out where they should be, the sides of the turret would have had to have been extremely thin, and of course in clear parts they would have been extremely brittle and just broken. So to cover with the thickness of the plastic, they moved the guns in. It's very much like Hong Kong models have had to do with their B-17. On the upper turret they've got the gun breeches very short because they've got the thickness of the plastic. So when you've got your upper turret, obviously the length you've got inside is very much less in scale than the real thing because of the thickness of the plastic. It's the same with model aircraft engines, instrument panels. You know, if the outside of the aircraft is correct and to scale, what's inside has to be too small because obviously the plastic is thicker than the scale thickness of the real thing. So what they've done here, they've moulded the guns integrally with the outside, which allows them to have the guns out. The only downside to that is going to be painting them. I can't see how they're going to look any good painted. We've also got ejector pin marks. Although actually, is that area there painted? Yes, it is. So that's pretty cool. That's why they've done it then. Yeah, you can see here that that area of the tail gun is painted. So it's fine. That's a real good design change, a real good idea. Very nicely done. We have got a couple of ejector pin marks on there. You can see So be careful of those, and there is a bit of sinkage in there as well. Oh, hang on, there's an undercut in there. Maybe there's something that goes on the outside. Let's have a quick look in the instructions. Chuck it over the floor now. Tail turret. Yes, there's a panel that goes around the outside. Okay. Okay, I've got it completely wrong. That is the inside face. Right, so what they've done here is brilliant. It's brilliant. It's to avoid the problem that Hobby Boss have with their 32nd scale kit, because those turrets look pathetic with the guns too close together. And I've got some aftermarket ones which cure the problem, but there we are. So yeah, brilliant idea. You know, that must have been one of those sort of, you know, Thursday night, 11:30, just gone to bed. Ping! I know, we'll do that. So yeah, beautiful. Very nice indeed. As I say, Airfix clear parts are just, you know, they're 10 times better than they used to be. So really happy with that, excuse me. So there we go. Well, that has been a quick, well, fairly quick for me, review of the Airfix B-24H Liberator. Am I disappointed? A little bit. Am I impressed? Yes. The detail on this model is absolutely stunning. The surface detail is incredible. The one downside to it is having a separate nose, which may or may not be an issue, because they've got the joint on a panel line, which always makes life a bit difficult. But it is very nice indeed. The interior detail is stunning. That's some of the nice interior detail I've ever seen in any scale. It really is beautiful. The detail on these bulkheads and that is absolutely gorgeous. This is worth going to town on the interior, because you will see, you know, you can look through there if you have them open. You've got a great big bomb bay to look at. The canopy is fairly large, so you're going to see quite a lot of the cockpit. You've also got the great big turrets front and back. And if they're going to do a D version, then you've got a great big glazed nose as well. That's going to look really nice. But I would say this is probably the best B-24 kit I've ever seen. I've got the Hobby Boss 132nd. I've got the 148th on pre-order. I've got the old Monogram 148th. But this, I mean, I haven't seen the Hasegawa kit. Apparently, it's very nice. But I've never seen one. This is the best I've seen, the best I've had in my hands, should I say. And yeah, very impressed. But also very disappointed. For 2024, there is no excuse for this. I mean, these massive sprue gates on here, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, as I say, that's going to take a hell of a lot of sanding and to get that, especially for the newer modeler. It's pathetic. It's just ridiculous. And those wheels are a disgrace. How they got past quality control, I do not know. That is just a disgrace. It can't be. It's not an issue with the tooling, you know, the shift in the tooling, because if it was, these would be off as well. In fact, everything to be that much out, everything would be way out. You know, when you look at these wheels here, these tires for the up position, you know, they're absolutely fine. That is actually the upper mold is not machined in line with the lower mold, and they've just carried on and let it go. That should never have got past test shot. Never. So yeah, really disappointed with that. But other than that, it's beautiful. It really is lovely. I mean, the engines are nicer than the 132nd scale kit, you know, which is ridiculous, isn't it? But very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. You're going to need some resin wheels for it if that's going to bother you, or if you're going to build wheels up, it won't matter, because we've got the same with the nose wheel as well. I guess you could. I'm just looking at this now. Yeah, you see on the on the nose wheel, you've got the back of the nose wheel. Well, there's no such thing as a back because it's got two sides, isn't it, left and right. But you can see that that one is way off, that one is way off, and that one is way off. So all the wheels on this are just a load of rubbish, absolute junk. So you're going to have to get resin wheels if you want to make a nice model. They're not going to do you any good at all. They're horrible. I'd love to see one of Airfix's built up models and see what they look like on that. Because and it can't be a one-off with my kit because they're all the same way and the rest of the sprue is fine. I mean, if there was 0.3 mould misalignment, we would have massive steps on here, and we don't. Plus they're okay. So, you know, and they're okay. Yeah. So big bad X mark to Airfix for that. It's inexcusable. It's just rubbish. It should never ever have got past the quality control. Really, really shouldn't. And it's the same with Mini Arts P47. Those wheels, they've gone to all the trouble of giving you like 3 or 4 options for wheels, isn't it, on the Mini Art kit, and they're all crap. It's like, why'd you bother? You know, why bother? But, I sometimes wonder if any of these things actually get looked at before they go into production, because that should have been picked up. That really should have been picked up. That is disgraceful. So that's my opinion of this model. It's beautiful, but could have done better. Bye for now.